Hey there, everyone. I'm Ashley.
And I'm Amber.
We're identical twin sisters from Southern California. While we may look exactly alike, sometimes we think that's all we have in common.
We invite you to grab a cup of coffee
Or a glass of wine.
and hang out with us for a little bit.
This is #TwinLifePodcast. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm doing super. How are you?
Welcome, everyone, to the #TwinLifePodcast. Thank you so much for listening. While you're listening, go ahead and subscribe. And if you wouldn't mind, scrolling down in that Apple Podcast feed and hitting that 5th star. And if you're listening to us on any other platform, feel free to leave a review or a comment so other people can find us. And if you're watching us on YouTube, subscribe to YouTube as well, because we would love to hear your comments on our podcast visual audio version as well. So that said, how's your week going, Twin? We're kind of recording these ahead of time, so just so everyone knows, we are batch recording all of the holiday episodes as fast as we can. So the last couple of weeks of the year, we won't be working.
Pounding in. Yeah, because we just have to, it's nice to do these, to get these podcasts out, just so, or they won't be out. We're going to still slow roll them out. You'll get one a week, but we just wanted to make sure that we got them recorded, because the week of Christmas, I'm gone. I'll be out of town in a cabin. So, and then the week after that is New Year's week. So we would.
And Phoenix's birthday.
And then Phoenix's birthday is January 3rd. So we're really trying to get these out so that we're not trying to cram them in around our holiday plans and, stuff like that. So
yeah,
want to get recorded. So with that said,
in present day, it is December 1st that we're recording this. So we are recording this. So right now, this one actually comes out next week. So we're just a week behind. So nothing crazy. Okay. So yeah. So anyways, just want to give you guys a heads up that we will be batch recording. So recognize that you may not be hearing this in real time. Okay. So go ahead, Twin. What was going on for you this week so far? It snowed.
Right. It snowed. The snow is sticking because it is freezing here. So I woke up this morning for the very first time in my entire life, to snow multiple days in a row. We went outside last night with Landon and Twin, you remember that episode of Arthur? If you've never seen Arthur, first of all, you're not a millennial if you've never seen Arthur, the kids show, or read the books. But when there's an episode of Arthur where they freeze a snowball, because they have their first snow and they freeze a snowball.
Yes.
So Landon wanted to bring the snowball in the house. So the snowball is in the freezer.
Oh.
So we have a snowball in the freezer. Landon got to play with snow, which he thought was the freaking coolest thing ever. He had never seen snow before, so that was awesome. We just kind of went outside. It was 6 o'clock at night and dark, but we went out. I didn't want to take Landon out into the snow without Blake. I wanted Blake to be able to
see his reaction.
Yeah, experience Landon's first snow with him, and not through some video of me doing it, So Landon had so much fun. It was so cold. It was 29 degrees last night, and we were just to go outside for 25 minutes. I had Landon I had jeans with sweats over them, socks. I bought him snow boots, so he has snow boots. He had on a t-shirt, a long sleeve, and his winter coat, a beanie, gloves. He was all in with everything.
Bundled.
And then I bundled up too, and Blake was laughing because Blake just had his work clothes on and put his coat on and went outside, and a scarf, and I was like, no. I put on leggings, and then I put sweats on. I put on my Uggs that I just got with socks, and I had a long sleeve and a sweatshirt and my coat. So Blake was like, we're going outside for 10 minutes. I was like, you stay there, and we will not be out there for 10 minutes, and I am not about to freeze, literally. No, we're not doing that. So we had my coat on, my hood, my scarf, all the things. So it was so fun.
You're probably low-key sweating.
I was not sweating. I was not. It was cold.
I feel like that.
My face was so cold, Twin. It was really bad. My face, because my hair is I did straight. I told you guys weeks ago that I straightened my hair, and I washed my hair from it being straight last week, because I'm getting braids this weekend. So if you know anything about curly hair, really hard to get a beanie over it. So I didn't buy any beanies. I have like a headband that goes like around my ears, but that doesn't do anything for my head. It doesn't keep my head warm. So
yeah,
one thing I'm really looking forward to about having braids is that I'll be able to put a beanie over my head because it's so cold. But yeah, so it was super fun. So we got to do a little snow night and play in the snow. And Blake was going to, or I was originally, Blake and I had planned that I was going to go to the gym because I subscribed to a lifetime membership a couple weeks ago, and I was like, this would have been my first day yesterday to go, and it freaking snowed. And Blake was like, I really don't want you driving in the snow. You've never driven in the snow, and I don't want you to be driving in the snow without me in the car. And we didn't know, and it was kind of a blizzard. It was like, we read the weather, it was like 40, like between 10 to 40 mile an hour wind gusts. Like,
jeez.
Like, yeah, it was like a kind of like a low-key snowstorm through the whole day. So I was just like, all right. So then that's what brought me to my decision today, where I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put my lifetime membership on hold until after winter. Because
yeah,
if it continues to snow off and on throughout the winter like this, and it's just like there's going to be multiple days in a row where the roads are going to be packed with snow and da-da-da. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to go, and I will go get a set of dumbbells, and my yoga mat's not here, so I'm going to go buy a yoga mat, and I will just get my little workout in at home, either first thing in the morning before Landon gets up, or I'll just do it, when Landon's napping or whatever. But I just felt like it was putting a lot of anxiety and pressure on me, because I was like, I'm paying for this dang thing. I need to go to the gym, and I'm just going to like release that pressure to do it and let it go. So that was good.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been to the snow, but I haven't driven in it. I don't think ever. And so Derek kind of like has tried to give me like a crash course in how to drive. And I was like, is it similar to driving in the rain? He was like, I mean, kind of, but like when it gets sloshy, it's like there's literally no traction and this and this. And I was just like, okay, I don't know. I feel like it's one of those things that if you don't learn how to do it when you first learn how to drive, like it's going to take some time to like do it. And I guess it's just a matter of like driving slowly. Like you have to know what to do if you hit black ice, which is I don't know. It's apparently different than hydroplaning. There's a lot of stuff. So,
yeah,
but meanwhile in San Diego, it's currently 77 degrees. And sunny, and I literally been wearing it's so funny because when I go to my class in the morning, I'm literally bundled up. Like it's not in the 20s or 30s, but I mean 40 degrees here is really freaking cold, especially in the morning when there's no sun. So I've been like literally, today I was fine. I just had on regular sweatpants or regular leggings, a sweatshirt, and like gloves, and I was totally fine. And my hood on, and I was like totally fine. I was like super warm. But it was like in the 50s this morning when we worked out, versus last week I think it was Wednesday, it was 41 degrees when we worked out in the morning. So, and it literally was like right before we got there, it was like in the 30s. So it was ridiculously cold to be. And also, if no one knows, out here in California, we are, in San Diego at least, we are 100% outside for most things. So we have to do all of since our gym isn't actually, or what are they calling it, a fitness facility or whatever, isn't closed, we work out outside. So that's great, but it's really freaking cold, so it kind of sucks, like that we have to work out in the cold, but is what it is. Besides that, my week's been pretty regular, like just podcasting, and Phoenix has his last day of school is the 21st.
Oh, he's getting that's really, another reason why we're trying to get these podcasts in, by the way, because Phoenix will be out of school also. So it limits our days that we can record. So we're trying to get them in.
Yeah, because he doesn't nap like Landon, so I can't I can't bank on 45 minutes of time to record. Because as soon as I'm like, I'm gonna go record a podcast, buddy, he's gonna be like, oh my gosh, can I sit with you? Can I talk to Aunt Amber? Can I this? Just like, he's not gonna let me do it. So but yeah, so his last day of school is the 21st. So we have like 3 more weeks basically, and then he's done. And then the challenge for the fitness challenge at F45 ends next Wednesday. So the day this podcast comes out actually will be the last day of the challenge. So I will be sure and give you guys like an update of that, if I can, next week to let you guys know how that went.
So yeah, make sure that you're
results.
keeping an eye on our social media throughout the holidays. I'm going to be doing some traveling, so I'll try to make sure that I, keep you guys slightly, kind of in tune and documented a little bit on like how our drive goes, how our trip, seeing the family. I talked to Blake's sister yesterday, and we kind of nailed down some of the traditions that we're going to do. So we decided that we're going to do stockings. We're going to put up a tree on Christmas Eve. And I have no idea what we're eating, but we got everything else. We kind of got everything else planned. We're going to play family games and stuff like that. So we'll keep you guys abreast. So make sure that if you're not already following us on our social media, at Twinly or at Our Dreamers Heart for Ashley or at Twinlifepodcast, make sure you're doing that so you guys can know what's going on in our lives also, on the Around the Podcast, as well.
Yeah. So, okay. So I think that's a good way to get into our Did You See, which is basically, we're going to chat a bit about The Bachelorette. Yeah. You know what, the one thing we haven't mentioned yet, did you happen to see the sneak peek yet of Matt? Because apparently there was like some sort of sneak peek of Matt's season, Matt James.
No, I didn't. No, I'm not going to watch it. I can't.
I'm not going to watch it either.
I don't like doing that. It ruins it.
Yeah, I'm not going to watch it. So I think it's going to be January 1st. So one of our first episodes of 2021 will be talking about Matt James' season probably. But yeah, so I was just curious if you did that. So the Bachelorette this weekend basically was full of more interesting stuff. When we first thought back about it, we're like, what happened that was like so interesting? And then I was like, oh yeah. As we were like talking about it before we started recording, we're like, oh my gosh, there was like kind of a lot of stuff to dive into. So, the first thing is they did like a, what was that show called? Can You Hear Your Heart, or Can You Hear My Heart, or whatever?
Yeah.
Is that the name of the show? I can't remember. But the other show that The Bachelor tried to do where it was like artists singing, like musicians, and then like fall in love singing or to each other or whatever.
Yeah.
We didn't participate in watching, but so they kind of did.
If you're listening to this podcast, this will be the recap for 2 weeks ago, right?
Well, I said the day. This December 1st, so
okay.
Today. So
all right. So yeah,
it'll be the episode that aired last week.
Okay.
Which
makes sense.
Yeah. So, okay. Anyways, if you guys watch, you'll know what episode we're talking about. So the episode we're talking about right now, hopefully you've already watched it, is the episode where, like I said, they do like the musical, they sing, and they like were supposed to write a song and sing it to her, which I feel like would be mad awkward.
Yeah.
Random dudes singing to me.
I don't know. Feel super awkward. Like, unless you have singing abilities, and even if you are a good singer, it's awkward to me. Like, for somebody to just burst out singing to me would be so awkward. So yeah. then combine it with a bunch of guys that have no musical abilities whatsoever. It was
yeah, there wasn't even one kind of good guy on there, kind of good musician on there.
Okay, nobody that was kind of a good musician, but I'm pretty sure it was Easy who did the guitar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a super sweet. And then Ivan's was more like a poem or something that but I thought Easy's like had like it had a chorus and a melody and it like, rhymed. Like I thought it was super good, but Ivan like really personalized it, which I really think is like that's like a big thing for Tayshia that the guys have learned is like she wants guys that are going to make quote unquote bold moves. Oh, speaking of bold moves. So this is something that we didn't write down. So I guess I'll write it down and we can get to it. But you remember how the army guy went to go meet up with her right before the rose ceremony, or like the day before the rose ceremony? He went to her.
Yeah.
And then what's his name? The what's his name? The one that always starts the fights with the weird like swoosh dark hair.
Ed?
Ed. Yeah, I remember when Ed tried to go, but then he ends up in Chris Harrison's room.
Yes.
I was like, That was really awkward. They actually showed the end, like the whole conversation or whatever. But the guy that was in the army, I felt like that was a solid move, solid step up. Ben, that was a solid move.
Yeah,
I think he pulled off a really good move, and I feel like that was lucky for him because the rose ceremony ends up getting screwed up anyway. So I guess we'll talk about that when we get there. But
did they? I'm just confused. Like, did they like stage that whole situation with Ed? Like, you think he was complicit in that?
I don't know. You mean like if somebody told him the wrong room on purpose?
No, if he was in on it.
Oh. I don't know. I mean,
Like,
he is kind of dumb. I think more what happened was somebody played a trick on him and told him the wrong suite on purpose.
Yeah, I thought that they were going to end up in there at the same time, and that would have been weird as hell. That would have been like a weird 2-on-1 situation.
I was really hoping that it wouldn't be that way. I was like, please don't make it this weird thing because it ruins her opportunity to connect with at least one of these guys. You know what I'm saying?
Like, yeah.
But Ed seems like he's really trying to get attention and trying to make sure people remember who he is on the season because he's obviously not going to end up with Tayshia. So he's having to stir the pot. Like, Chasen went home last week. What the heck?
Yeah, he went home. No, he went home this week.
Yeah, he went home this week. What the heck?
Yeah, random. I was so confused by that too. I was like, how do we go from him being? Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I think that the producers are trying to make Ed interesting because he's so annoying. And I think that he's somebody that's like one of those producers, like picks that's going to stay there. And that's the only reason he's there. He obviously doesn't have a connection with her. She's obviously not going to pick him. I don't understand. He should have been gone like a long time ago. And I feel like that was just like a weird, and he was the one who like planted the little doubt seeds in her mind about him. So it was just kind of frustrating that she kept him over Ed. That annoyed me.
Wait, you mean they kept Chasen? They kept Ed over Chasen. Yeah.
So the one-on-one, so they did like a date, the music date. So the person that won the music date was Ivan. So he ends up getting a one-on-one date that evening with Tayshia. And they basically do like kind of a cute little at-home, like your basic night in date where like you're playing board games or you're playing you're playing the lava, like the floor's lava thing. If you've never seen Justin Bieber and Hailey Bieber's video of them doing that, it was super funny and cute.
Yeah.
So they kind of did that. They played games. And then they kind of ended it on like a real serious conversation about Black Lives Matter. And maybe this was just in my head, but they gave that conversation a lot
so much time.
Okay. They gave that conversation more time than I think they've ever given, because most of the time they cut those conversations hella short because they don't like, I think it's in the interest of trying to keep some of their conversation private. So the actual intimate conversation, a lot of times they don't air that. So they air like the fluff conversation, and then they don't air all of their like, detailed conversations and that they have with each other. So I felt like this was kind of cool where we really got to watch the whole conversation. And I think it has a lot to do with the fact that they need content because they're not traveling and doing all the glitz and glamour this season. So I think because of that, it's allowing for us to really actually kind of get to know these guys more, because we're getting to hear them talk and get to know the Bachelorette instead of them just doing stupid stuff like bungee jumping off the side of a building because you need to jump for, you gotta fall or you gotta jump to find love or whatever. Like, I never see they did every year. So, but yeah, I felt like their conversation was really cool. Coming from two biracial, like biracial people. I thought it was really hard for Tayshia to have the conversation because she kind of grew up in a city where she was the only girl that looked like her at all. She was like probably the only, really one of the few brown people, because she's half Mexican, half black, that she knew. And So you can kind of tell, like, she wears her hair straight a lot. She's got highlights in her hair. You can tell that not that you can't have your hair straight and can't have highlights as a Black girl, but she even said, admittedly, that she always tried to blend in. And you can kind of tell that Tayshia has really tried to blend into her environment and the people that that she knew growing up. She didn't want to stand out. And I think that what's cool about her being the Bachelorette and the things going on with Black Lives Matter and Rachel being the Bachelorette, I think it's kind of helped her to, like, slowly but surely, like, embrace her differences. And I think being with somebody like Ivan would really help to, because he was saying that he really found himself, like, he found a new perspective from the things that have been going on. So I think that with them, like, their conversation, I think, was really enlightening, I think, for both people. Tayshia didn't seem to be able to, like, form words about her emotions that she has with it. So I think part of it was she wasn't maybe ready to tell the entire world her real raw opinions and pain that comes with what's going on. Mm-hmm. So as a huge public figure that she is, I think she was like, let me just, I'll give my opinion after I get off the Bachelorette, like Rachel, Like, give me a platform and I'll talk, but I'm not gonna do that right now,
Yeah, and I think that and then I think we'll have to wrap up a lot of this conversation, but I think that he really did a good job he talked about his brother being in jail, and he talked about some of the police, like not necessarily the quote unquote police brutality, but just the COs in the jail, how they treated him, and they would just, like, beat him for no reason. I mean, based on his story. Now, he could have, for all we know, he could have been in the middle of a fight and he could have started something or whatever, but from what he was saying, like, he just got beat for no reason. And it's like, you need to learn how to use your authority and your power in the right way. And he sort of dove into that a little bit. And I just think that I remember I looked at Derek and I was like, I wish they had more conversations with this much depth on this show, because this is the kind of stuff that, like, I like to watch, is, like, really hearing them have, and not have so much just, like, fluffy stuff around it. Like, I want to hear them really talk about some real stuff. Like, I want to hear about their families, the struggles they've been through, like, real stuff, not just this, like, nonsense that a lot of these guys come to. And I honestly think that, I hope she ends up picking Ivan at the end, to be honest. I think that they would be a great, so far I don't think anybody else has a chance, to be honest. So I don't know, we'll see. Hopefully she picks him.
Yeah. I mean, I think he's definitely in the running. I think there's other guys that may have a chance, but I guess we'll see at the end. But the last thing about The Bachelor I want to talk about before we hop right into our topic is Noah. So Noah did this big thing last week where he, like, jumped over that big, gate to, like, do this fight, and then, like, against Chasen, who he lost to, and then he ended up, he wasn't even on that date, but because Ed, the whole reason Noah was on that date was because Ed was too chicken to fight Chasen after he started drama with him. So that opened a window for Noah to be like, I'll fight him. It's like, you guys came to see a fight, I'll go do it. So then, because he did that, she invited them on the group date, and then she gave him the rose because he kind of, like, stepped up to the plate and wasn't afraid to, like, I don't know, like, do what needed to be done, ruffle some feathers to show her that he wanted to be closer to her. I don't fault him, honestly, at all for being on the date. I know that her giving him the rose was going to make the guys feel uncomfortable, but that's just part of, like, Bachelor world. Like, you're not, like, the Bachelor or Bachelorette's isn't gonna always do what you want. So the result of that ended up being where he decides to take it upon himself to tell Tayshia, which I thought was super manipulative. That was literally my only take from it, was highly manipulative. He sat down and told her, after she was having a great night with the guys, she felt super positive about her connections with them, and he sits down to tell her that the guys are saying that her intentions were just, like, the only reason she gave him the rose was so that she could piss off the guys and, like, cause drama in the house. And
Yeah.
Not one time did I ever pick up that energy. So I was very like, it took me back. I was like, wait, why would you, first of all, why would you say that to her? Even if it was them, all that does is it doesn't make you look good. It makes her now question her own, like,
Decision making.
her gut and her decision making, which is bad for all of you. You want her to feel 100% confident in all of her decisions, especially when she picked you and everybody doubts it. Just like be a better freaking human.
Yeah. I think that it was definitely not cool that he literally, like, I don't even think she was going there mentally. I think she was just like, oh yeah, whatever the guys say, like, I picked you because I like you, who cares? But then for him to just be like, well, this could really mean that I've heard some of the guys questioning you and questioning your intentions and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, and I was kind of pissed because I was like, Tasha, you're really going to fall for this? Like,
right.
Really?
Like, you're gonna let this dude
Like, I wanted to be
off
like,
right now?
girl, like, you really need to come. So she comes out and she's like, I just want to let you guys know that if you don't agree with my intentions, you don't trust me to make decisions for myself, then you can just get out of here. And I'm just like, I was low key like, oh my gosh.
The guys were like,
what?
What in the what? Like, they
Where did it
all
even
just
come
looked
from?
so stunned. Like, he never said, like, I was hoping one of the guys would be like, wait, hold up. I never said that. I don't know about y'all, but I've never heard that conversation. That conversation has never been had. The only thing we said is we don't feel like Noah deserves a rose from you because we don't feel like he's a good enough dude for you. It has nothing to do with whether or not you have the capability of making the decisions on your own. It's not the same thing. Anyways, let me not. But that really, like, really made me, and I was like, this dude is the worst. So I'm looking forward to that conversation when they do the whatchamdoodle, the men tell all.
Yeah.
But
they also did a teaser for a 2-on-1 with Noah and Bennett, I think. Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see.
It comes on today,
the next episode where that. Yeah. Be interesting to see how that plays out.
Right.
So do you want to move on to our topic?
Yes.
So I'm really excited to talk about this. We're going to be bringing you guys a lot of holiday content throughout the month of December. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I've kind of been looking forward to doing holiday content since we started the podcast last January, to be honest. So, so many things to dive into. This episode in particular is going to be about our favorite Christmas movies. And I am honestly, I love Christmas movies. I just love how sentimental they are. I love how, like, sweet they are. Some of them are a little bit on the sadder side, but mostly the ones that I like are going to be the ones like that are kind of like uplifting and just lighthearted and fun, and maybe some like movies that some people might not consider Christmas movies, but I do. So, with that in mind, the very first one that I love, and I don't know why I consider this a Christmas movie, but maybe it's because it always comes on during this time of year, is Anastasia, and the animated version of Anastasia. I love this movie. I like for Christmas. It's mostly because the movie starts in the winter and in the snow, and there's a big opening sequence in the winter time. Always associated it with Christmas, even though like the majority of the movie doesn't happen during the winter. But I don't know, for some reason to me, Anastasia is a Christmas movie. So I just love that movie so much. I know you don't think it's a Christmas movie, but
I mean, I know it takes place in the winter, but like, I feel like there's Christmas movies that are Christmas themed movies, and then there's movies that like people have adopted as Christmas movies that they watch during the holidays. Because I have a couple of those on my list too, where it's like, that's a weird movie that you would associate with holidays, but I could understand the correlation because it does start in the movie kicks off in the winter time. So, and it's a great movie.
Yeah.
If you've never seen Anastasia, the animated version, it's fantastic. Great music. Meg Ryan plays Anastasia's voice. It's awesome.
Not her singing voice though.
No, not her singing voice, but her speaking voice. Okay, the next one.
Okay, So the next one is Cracker, which I can't really figure out which movie it is. In my head,
Twin, I just texted to you.
I know you just texted to me, but I'm not even sure if this is the one.
It is the one. It's got to be the one. It's the
Okay,
old version, 1993 version of the Nutcracker.
Oh, that looks stage.
I don't know if it's played on
live
stage
action adaptation. Okay, so that must be the movie. Okay, so by the way, we'll try to put links to these movies if you're not familiar with them. But I love the Nutcracker. I honestly don't care what rendition of the Nutcracker it is. I just love the Nutcracker in general. I feel like there was an animated version when we were growing up, but I can't remember it right now. And I'm pretty sure that movie is the one that we watched a lot too. So I just think that it is it's just the quintessential Christmas movie. Like, I don't know. I love all the music. I love going to the ballet. Yeah, I just love it.
Oh, there was the Nutcracker Prince that came out in
Yes!
1990. That's the animated one.
I think that's the one that I like.
Okay. Well, there you go. The Nutcracker in a nutshell. I've always wanted to actually see the Nutcracker on stage. Every Christmas, I want to see the Nutcracker on stage, and it never happens. So, and 2020 is not about to be the year that I get to go see the Nutcracker on stage. So, I guess I'll just have to keep that hope alive in my life that I will get to see the Nutcracker on stage. I've always wanted to see it live, so I'm hoping one day. But I just love the story of the Nutcracker, and it's so magical, and it's so Christmas. I didn't really like the Nutcracker in the Four Realms that just came out. It was all right. I feel like it took
really
away too much. It took away too much from the Nutcracker that I love. But okay, so the next one is How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Any of the versions are great, but my favorite one, and I think Ashley's favorite one too, as we were growing up, was the one with Jim Carrey, because he was absolutely fantastic as the Grinch and hilarious. So that one has good memories just because we watched it so much as a kid, and like we watched it with our family and we just loved it. Jim Carrey was he just embodied the Grinch in such a cool way that just sticks with you. I mean, to me, he is the Grinch. So,
and the music was really good.
And the music. I
love that. I love it.
I loved it. And then the song that Cindy Lou Who sings that Mariah Carey did, that one's great too. Yeah, the soundtrack is great.
Where are you, Christmas?
Why
I love it.
Great song. Okay. The next one.
So I know you've said, okay.
I don't remember this version.
A few times.
I do not remember this version of A Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey, so I'm going to have to look it up.
So, okay, yes, I was about to skip this one. Carol with Jim Carrey. It's on Disney Plus. This is how I came across it.
Oh.
Very similar animation to The Polar Express, which is actually not on this list, but that's a really good Christmas movie also, by the way. Polar Express. Phoenix is obsessed with that movie. And that Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey is super scary.
The animated
like,
one is
I know
scary?
it's really scary. Like, I was like, I told you, I was watching it and I was like low-key scared. Like, I felt like I needed to turn all the lights on in the house or something. Like, I was like, I don't think I should be watching this movie at night. Like, this is I thought I was like, I'm going to watch a Christmas movie before I go to bed. Not that movie. It was very, like, all the ghosts are so scary. Like, and his friend Marley, like, when he talks to him, it's really scary, and like his jaw dislocates at one point. Like, he's like the ghost version, his jaw comes off, and he like is talking with his like flapping his jaw to get it so he can talk. It was just really weird. It was really weird and really creepy. And of course, Jim Carrey plays creepy characters very well, so it just had this air of just.
The Christmas Carol is always creepy. Like even the Disney, remember the Disney version?
The old one.
Mouse?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, even that cartoon one was freaking creepy. Like the story of a Christmas Carol is scary. It's a almost horror movie. It's scary. They did a version 2019 with Guy Pearce, and it was on Hulu. And Blake and I were like, "Oh my god, we're gonna totally watch this." That movie was scary. Blake and I were both like, "What is like?" We're sitting like we're sitting trying to like wrap gifts for Christmas, and we're watching this. I'm like, "Are you seeing this?" I don't want to watch. I was like, "Babe, this is not bringing me joy right now." Like we're trying to put Landon's house together, and it was just creepy. And I was like, so we stopped about halfway, and Blake was like, "I don't think I'm gonna finish that." I was like, it was super. It was like it was too much. Like, fantastic in it. But it's one of those movies where it's like, yeah, it's a Christmas movie. When it ends, you understand and you grasp the theme, but the journey through the ghost is creepy. And like this particular one on Hulu, they were trying to really stay true to the book itself. So each ghost was freaking scary.
Super scary.
Like, yeah. And it was sad also. It was super sad because, oh my God, it was so sad. Anyways, but the story of the Christmas Carol, any version that you watch is a fantastic, fun, like kind of scary thing to watch on Christmas, I guess, for Christmas during the holidays.
Yeah, it's like Nightmare Before Christmas. Like if you're a person that likes Nightmare Before Christmas, I feel like that's a good, because I have friends that they like Christmas, but they like making Christmas a little bit like, because they love Halloween, so like they make Christmas a little eerie. So yeah, I think that's, it falls in that group with A Nightmare Before Christmas. Yeah. But yeah, that particular one was, I low key wish Derek was here. I was like, babe, I was kind of scared. I was like, oh my gosh. Okay. So the next one on the list, which I started talking about a minute ago, because I was like totally forgetting about the next one, but is Elf. So you don't like Elf, or haven't seen Elf, or I don't know.
It's with Will Ferrell, right? Is that who it has it? He plays
Will Ferrell, and then what's her name from the new girl? Deschanel, Zooey Deschanel.
Okay.
So I just love it because of both of their characters, and they're both of the actors. Well, okay, take that back. I love Zooey Deschanel. I'm not a huge Will Ferrell fan, but the movie, I can tolerate the movie because the people surrounding him are such great characters. So like his new family that adopts him, that like kind of adopt him, are like super sweet. Zooey Deschanel, who he falls in love with, her character who is like the elf in the store, who's like kind of like not as cheerful about Christmas. And she sings in the movie, or they sing together. Anyways, so I just think it's a really sweet, really fun, like lighthearted Christmas movie. And again, I don't really like Will Ferrell, but for some reason that movie's always stuck with me as just like a good Christmas, like fun Christmas movie. So you don't have any thoughts, Twin?
Christmas is next. Oh no, nothing on Elf. I probably have seen it. It didn't stick with me as good as like some of these other movies.
So the next one is Bad Moms Christmas. You haven't seen this one either, right?
No, I did add it to my Netflix.
Hilarious. The first Bad Moms I'm obsessed with, so of course I had to watch Bad Moms Christmas. My favorite thing about the movie, just like the first one, it kind of tackles like motherhood and how a lot of times there's like pressures put on you that are unnecessary from like society and like other women and people around you. And that one of the biggest things in that movie was like expectations from her parents, as like her mom having this idea that Christmas. So basically the mother-in-laws come in town. Mm-hmm. All of the women, the mother-in-laws, their mothers come in town. So all of the women who are like the three main women from the first movie, which is Kirsten Bell, Mila Kunis, and then I can't remember the other actress's name, but their moms come in town. So you get to see their different relationships with their mothers. Mila Kunis' mother is super intense. She's like this wealthy upper crust woman. The actress is actually the woman that plays the rich character from The Grinch. I forget the actress's name, but you like the one that like is the super like hot like that lives in the neighborhood or whatever, that
the one
the mayor like
that was his crush.
Yes. So same actress. So anyway, so she comes in town and she's just like so like bougie basically, and she like wants to take over Christmas, and she's like, we need to go do this, we need to go do that, we need to go do this, this, and this. We have to decorate the house. We have to throw this huge party. And Mila Kunis is like, no, this is not what we do on Christmas. What we do on Christmas is we hang out as a family. Like, we play board games. We like open presents super low key, and like we don't do this huge thing. And like, so it's just kind of like, it's a really good movie, super super funny, a little inappropriate, but I'm obsessed with Bad Moms movies. They're just so hilarious.
I liked the first one, so I'll
not what
Bad Moms Christmas.
Yeah, not one to watch with your kids, like, but it's a good one. It's just a funny one to watch for the holidays, I think. Okay, so you've seen this next one.
Yes, well, you've seen this next one too. I've seen these next four are kind of mine, so I guess I can guide the last few. Serendipity is so good. If you've never seen it, who are you? If you've never seen Serendipity, it is a Christmas movie because it starts and ends during Christmas time. And it's a romantic comedy that like they fall in love and during Christmas time, and then they reconnect during the holidays at the end. So the movie starts off with like Christmas music and their Christmas shopping or whatever, and it's so freaking hilarious. If you have not seen it, you need to go see it. I'm pretty sure Serendipity is on Netflix right now. So if you haven't watched it for Christmas, it'll make you feel warm and fuzzy all over. It's like a good, upbeat, uplifting movie. It doesn't have any like, it's not scary or anything crazy. It's very lovely, sweet movie. Sleepless in Seattle, on the other hand, always comes out, like it always comes up on Christmas movie lists because it also takes place during the holidays. Like the beginning of the movie takes place during the holidays, and then it ends during the holidays. So people kind of associate it with Christmas time for some reason. It's kind of sad, but again, Tom Hanks and Meg Ryan are so great in it, and it's like another movie that'll just make you feel like warm and fuzzy. It's family because it's like father and son relationship movie, so it's like it's kid friendly, but it's also romantic and sweet, and it's one of those movies that always just makes me tear up and feel great about life at the end of it and hopeful about the world. So it's just something that like it brings me into like the Christmas spirit when I watch it.
Yeah. You know what's not on this list, though, that we should have put on this list is While You Were Sleeping, because that's actually genuinely a Christmas movie. The whole movie takes place during the Christmas season.
Oh, yeah. Well, you also said, what is it called? What's it called?
Polar Express.
I was going to say Snow Patrol. I was going to say Postal Service, and naming two different bands. That is not the name of this movie. Anyways, okay, so yeah, so I actually really need to watch that with Landon because he would absolutely love that movie, and he loves trains. I think that movie may have been a catalyst to why Phoenix loves trains so much, to be honest.
I think so too.
Because he freaking loved that movie. So maybe we'll watch that tonight as a family. We'll watch that and then maybe Blake and I will watch A Christmas Carol later, the Grinch version, because I wanted to watch A Christmas Carol last year, but the one that we tried to watch was
the Grinch version.
I'm sorry, the Jim Carrey version of Christmas Carol, the animated version. Okay, so the last two are classics, and when I say classics, I mean like our parents probably watched them. Charlie Brown Christmas, which if you do not watch Charlie Brown themed movies during the holidays, who are you? Like you should be watching It's a Great Pumpkin, and you need to be watching the Christmas. It's with the Charlie Brown Christmas tree, and like you need to be watching those movies. They're hilarious. They always come on every year. They come on TV somewhere. So if you don't own it, which I'm sure a lot of people don't own a lot of DVDs, and if you owned it, it was probably on VHS. So, but it comes on. It's on somewhere. So watch that with you, especially if you have kids. Like watch it. It's such a good family like sweet movie, and it's not very long. It's like an hour maybe. But
we have the book so here.
Oh, you guys do? I feel like I need to get it for Landon.
Yeah, we actually got it at Kohl's. So.
Ooh, okay. Is that what the Snoopy came with?
Yeah.
Okay, I bet they have it now that it's Christmas. Like now it's after Thanksgiving. I bet I could find it this year. I should go and like where they have those little snuggly animals in the front or like teddy bears. Is that where the book was?
Yep.
Okay, I will check that out. Okay, last but not least, a true classic. Like your great grandparents probably watched this movie. It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah, I think it came out in 1912 or 1910 or something like that. Like for real, it came out a long time ago.
I think it may have been like the 30s, but still came out a long time. Drew Barrymore's grandfather was the star of this movie, and he was old. So this
1946.
Okay, this movie is old, guys. Like, most of the people you know close to you were not even born when this movie came out. Your parents weren't born. So, but this movie is so sweet. It is originally in black and white, but you can now get the color version, which I've never watched the color version, but I will never get Blake to watch that movie with me unless I watch it in color, Technicolor. You can watch it in color. You can, I think it actually is streaming somewhere. I think it was on Amazon last year. But they tend to stream it around this time of year. It's a great story about a guy that basically, it's a true like down on your luck story. Like his whole life, he's kind of like, it just seems like everything goes wrong for his entire life, but really he's just not focusing on the things that really matter to him. And when he starts focusing on the things that matter to him in life, things start going well. And yeah, it's just a great movie about like really, the true meaning of Christmas, valuing your family, appreciating the things you have, like obviously having goals and aspirations are great, but you still have to make sure that you take a moment to appreciate the people that have been on the ride with you and love you and stuff. So fantastic movie.
Yeah.
If you guys have any Christmas movies that I'm sure there's a million that you think that we missed, please let us know what your favorite Christmas movies are in the comments, or feel free to, shout us out and let us know what you think of these Christmas movies that we mentioned on our list, which I'm sure we could go on for days. There's a million.
For real. There's so many Christmas movies.
Yeah. So are we wanting to get into our No Girl and Go Girl, and then we can wrap it up?
Wrap up.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, you go first, Swin.
Oh, okay. Okay, so my Go Girl this week is more kind of like an epiphany that I had today. I weighed myself, and I told myself I was only going to weigh myself once a week, and that has turned into pretty much every single morning before I eat, I weigh myself. Just because I feel like it kicks off my motivation for the day, which is probably not healthy, because if I have a bad day, then it kind of like, my day is wonky because I put myself on the scale. But I made some really great progress this morning, and I came to this idea that I am really grateful that I have this tool now of knowing how to count my macros in a way that I can enjoy. That doesn't seem like I'm depriving myself or seem miserable. And I have this tool to where I know exactly what I need to do if, once I reach my goal weight, and I'm not going to count macros from here to the end of time. But if I, for some reason, start gaining weight, I know, okay, got to tighten up, next 2 weeks, I'm cutting down my calories to this amount. I know what I can eat. I know what to get from the store. I know the brands. I know what I like to eat. I know and I can just easily hop back into it if I need to, like at least very strictly hop back into it. And so it's actually really comforting for me and relieves a lot of stress knowing that like, okay, so yeah, I'm going to get the weight off, but I also know how to how to get back when I, if and when I gain some weight. I know how to drop 5 pounds in 2 weeks now, So
yeah,
that's just like it's a great feeling, because the idea of doing this before was just so overwhelming and like pretty paralyzing for me, because I was just like, there's no way I can do this. Like, it's just never going to come off. Like, there's got to be an easier way. And honestly, this morning I was thinking, I was like, man, this is like not as miserable as I thought it was going to be. Like, I have my days where it struggles, and like I look in there and like, man, I really would love to just sit and munch on goldfish right now and not feel like poop about it. Or I really want to eat some pancakes. So what I've done is, and then we'll get into yours and we'll be done. But what I've done, whenever I get a craving for something that I'm like, okay, I can't have that because it's way too high in fat or way too high in carbs for me to be able to feel satisfied and full throughout the day. So I have to get a substitution. So I went and got low calorie bread or carb bread, and I've like found some low carb pancake mix and low carb waffles, so that I can actually still enjoy the things that I like. And then I'm like, then it make it so much easier for me to maintain, because I'm like, I already enjoy these things, so why go back to the way I was eating before? I've replaced the things that I like to eat and enjoy eating with healthier options now, so I can actually stick with it instead of just eating gravel for the next however long, and then in anticipation of being able to be like, oh, I can eat a whole bag of M&Ms once I lose this weight. Like, you know what I mean? Does that make sense? Like,
yeah,
that's not my goal. My goal is to enjoy myself in the process and find things that are great alternatives, not substitutions, alternatives to the things that I enjoy eating right now. So
Yeah. Well, I think you're doing a really good job, Twin.
Getting there. I'll be down 10 pounds before Christmas.
Woo woo!
So that's, almost half of my goal. But
okay, so mine is kind of a small one, but I've really been wanting to make gingerbread in general. I really want to make a gingerbread house with Phoenix, and I don't really want to buy crappy gingerbread that comes in those boxes or whatever. And you just like, it's like super, I don't know, it's just like super processed and like,
right.
It comes with like this, I don't know. I'm very much about when it comes to baked goods, I prefer to bake them here because I know what's in them. And I know that the ingredients that are in them. So I wanted to do gingerbread. So Sunday I was like, okay, maybe I can do like the whole situation with gingerbread, like cut them up, but I need like measurements so I know like how long the sheets need to be, like to cut them and shape them or whatever.
Twin, I bet.
So I was like, well, I
bet you if you went on Amazon, you could find a whole like cookie sheet, like stencil
gingerbread
for
shaping
a gingerbread house. Yeah, I bet you.
Oh my gosh, I'm totally gonna look for that. I am totally gonna look for that because I really want to make it like I really want to make gingerbread houses with Phoenix because he hasn't done it before, or we've not done it together. And normally we make Christmas cookies and we like decorate the Christmas cookies, but I was like, I really want to do gingerbread because like we made, we made those little,
because it's delicious.
But we also like over the fall we did like the little Rice Krispie pumpkins, and then I also made pumpkin cookies, and we made another set of cookies that I think we made sugar cookies, and he could decorate them. And so like I always try to do like some fun baked goods with Phoenix like throughout the seasons, just to like kind of because it's fun and I love baking and he likes baking with me, so it's kind of our thing,
Yeah.
But so the gingerbread, I actually made them by myself because Derek and Phoenix went out to the store and I had like a few hours to myself on Sunday. And so I was like, I'm going to make gingerbread cookies and not make like gingerbread, like the whole situation with the shapes or whatever. So it's basically like gingerbread drop cookies, because regular gingerbread, you have to like set it in the oven. They're put it in the fridge to set for 3 hours, and then you bring it out and then you roll it out and you cut it, shape it, cook it. Like it's a whole thing. So I was like, I'm just going to make ginger cookies. And they turned out so, dude, when I tell you, they're so good. I'm so sad I can't eat any more till Sunday. If Derek hasn't eaten them all by Sunday, I might have to like take some out of the cookie jar and like put them aside for myself so that Derek doesn't eat them all by Sunday. He was like so mad because the recipe actually called for would make 120 cookies.
Jeez.
120. And I was like, okay. So I cut the recipe in half. I don't think I came out with 60 cookies. I think I came out with more like maybe 45 or something. It was like a few dozen. But Derek was just like, really, babe? Really? You're not even going to eat these. You made them on Sunday. You're not even going to eat them till next week. And I was like, well, just don't eat all the cookies. So, but I enjoy baking. I enjoy having a couple of cookies. I enjoy having baked goods. So anyways, I could talk forever about that, but yeah, I was really proud of myself because I've literally never made them before. And the only thing is just spices and molasses. But no one just has molasses just chilling in their house.
Right,
so
I was going to say.
I had to like.
I bet you can make it with maple syrup instead of molasses, Twin.
I don't even have maple syrup in the house.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I definitely want to do some holiday baking for sure. But on that note, thank you guys so much for listening to us again and for sticking with us throughout this whole year of us listening to podcasts. Please stay tuned for our next holiday episodes. We have a few more for the rest of the holiday. Is there any other closing thoughts, Twin?
No, I think that's it.
All right. Well, make sure if you haven't already, please subscribe and leave us a comment. Please, we love those 5 stars. And we will talk to you guys later.